And we are live. Hello and welcome to Developer Insights. I'm David.
And I'm Justin.
And together we are the leads on game development and design here at Codename.
Why, not only that, but we also founded Codename.
That's true. We're going to be your hosts for this episode and for every episode.
Because when we're not here, the show doesn't happen.
That's still true.
Yeah. So today is our 109th episode. And
Wait.
Can people hear us?
I hope so. I spent all week trying to work with I did? Did I spend all week trying to work the audio issues out?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, but then what's this doing here?
This should be plugged in.
Where?
Just anywhere. Somewhere over there. And yeah. Nope, that's mic 2. Put it in mic 1. Perfect.
There we go. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. Anyway, we are here to answer. I'm glad that's in there now and the audio is fixed. We are here to answer development and design questions about idle champions.
But if you don't ask any questions, you may have to suffer through Justin's one-man reenactment of the second season of Amazon Prime's Reacher series.
Yes, but I do. If you're not going to ask any questions today, I will need a little bit of warning so I can hit the gym for just a bit first.
Just a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that far to go. They say that the first 100 pounds of muscle is the easiest.
Who? Who says that?
I don't know. People on the internet? I don't know.
Can't be trusted.
Yeah.
All right, as always, we have pulled forward some questions from the previous show that we didn't get to, and we will answer some of those while we're waiting for new questions to come in. But before we get to those, we do have some updates on items that have been flagged to be looked at by the dev team. So without any further stalling for time, let's get started with
First,
those.
let's look at the chat and see all the audio.
Confirm that the chat looks the audio is working.
Apparently, I plugged it
no.
into the wrong side.
No. Here, I have an idea. I may or may not have not done that. There we go.
Make that mono.
There.
There we
Perfect.
go.
There
We're
we go.
coming into both your ears.
Apologies. You're getting me in the left and Justin in the right. Really confusing. Okay. Anyway, moving on. See, I spent all week and I still didn't get it working properly.
I knew we shouldn't have made the whole intro script a joke about how we fixed the audio.
Audio's fixed.
That was absolutely going to backfire.
Different meaning of the word fixed. But let's see. Speaking of fixes, we got to fix new features, items here. They do have some items on here. It looks like the hint text Egbert specialization choices with the number of atonement points is ready to go and will be out in not the next build, but the one after that is what it looks like. We have adding enemy health and damage to the kill log. That was what do you push to get that log up again?
Control LLL, I think.
Yes, for kill.
Kill.
Yes. So the
Kill,
health and damage amount, which
kill,
was requested to be
kill.
added to that, is now in, or at
Yeah.
least it will be in the next. Or it says done in 5.5.6. So I don't know if that builds out, but
I don't know if 5.5.6 is out yet either.
it is in 5.5.6. When you have 5.5.6, you'll have that functionality. And I'm sure
Hopefully.
2 or 3 of you care about that. And lastly, on the fixes, new features is that the campaign map position does no longer reset when you change patrons.
Peter was very excited about that one.
Okay, and that is also in 5.5.6.
Yes.
We still have some in-progress items here. I do have this tag that the not recalling familiars on potions is not an issue, or at least Peter
Could not replicate it when he tried. So if anyone has like a really consistent way to make it so your familiars on potions don't recall when you into other parties, please let us know.
If Peter couldn't get it to work, we'll find out.
Yeah.
And then the remaining items are still increasing the bounty contract limit use to 1,000, adding a tooltip to the potion so you can see what potions are active without clicking into it, type and sort filtering for the quest tracker, the ability to open, buy, or show chests for the champion on the champion sheet instead of going through the store or the inventory, that sort of thing, just directly on the champion sheet. Looking to see if we can do a minimized view on mobile. It's one of those little views that floats about. We haven't looked further into that, but it seemed like it might be something we could just be like, feature on, but yeah, we'll find out. We're going to add the attack types and roles to the bench slot information champion hover pop-up. And we want to add an option to always show all of the bench slots, even if you don't yet have enough gold to unlock them. Announcements. Looks like there's none. All right. Let's move on to leftover questions from the prior show. Look, we did pull some forward.
I did.
I was busy making sure the audio still
I
didn't
pulled
work.
forward 3 questions.
Okay, first question left over from last week is from LazyCat97202. They ask/say, thank you so much for removing dailies. I was able to schedule time with the family over the holidays. Wow, this is...
You're welcome.
Is this going to be permanent?
Yeah, so I think the feedback that in general that we've gotten for removing dailies has been pretty overwhelmingly positive. There have been some people who miss them, or some people who'd like them brought back in certain other ways. But I think in general, I don't think many people are really upset about that loss. And actually, it's really interesting for me, just sort of like not the actual kind of play data, but sort of comments I've seen on like Reddit and Discord and stuff. I've seen a lot more people asking questions about, hey, how do I do this format, or how do I do this adventure? Or, like, I'm stuck 25 areas before this variant objective, or how do I do that? And I've seen a lot more of those since we removed dailies, which was one of the goals of removing dailies, was to kind of free up people's time and attention to focus on the core campaigns in the game as well, instead of just coming in and doing dailies and then being like, I've done it. I've done my day's worth of play. So I think anecdotally,
Wow, you invented a new word.
Yes, I have. So anecdotally, it seems like it's doing everything we wanted it to do, so I don't see any reason it wouldn't stick around until we want to do some other type of experiment with that.
Okay. Next question. This is from Rough Rider 1995. And they would like to know, will you commit to the arrival date of the collection's rework yet? So give us a date, Justin.
I will not commit to the arrival date of the collection's rework yet, but I will say that it is
Q1?
We are very close to committing to it. We've got some announcements planned for early in February that I'm very excited to talk about, but I'm not allowed to talk about them yet. So please ask me lots of questions come, I think, February 8th, because I'm going to have lots of exciting things to talk about on that day.
February 8th, it is, yeah.
That is the day that is currently when we will potentially be able to talk about that.
So if we committed to that date being the date we'll talk to it, or is that
I can't even, the problem is I can't even commit to that. I'm hoping that's the date, but it's still a month away, so things could change. But I'm hoping February 8th is the day that I can start to talk about some of the very exciting things that are coming. And honestly, I've been looking through the questions that we've been getting here, and some of them the answer is just going to be, please ask me this again on February 8th, or stuff will become more clear on February 8th. Now that I've said February 8th about 60,000 times, I think people are going to be
they're just going to go in and
tuning
coming
in on
back until that
February
date. We should change the weekly code to no commitment.
No commitments. That's just kind of a general thing for the stream.
Right.
But yeah.
I'm sure that's the right number of letters. Next question. This is from Tranamo. The next event is Midwinter, and Redacted. Fen and Rust will be the 3 champions.
Mm-hmm.
Can
No idea who that Redacted is. Certainly,
I'm looking forward to getting Redacted.
Certainly, the event didn't release yesterday.
I'm not forward to getting Redacted. Don't redact me.
Yes.
At least that would be is important enough to be redacted.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the question is, can there be a discount on time gates for other Midwinter champions that have been retired? Cthulhu, Regis, Talon, Morgaine, etc.
Yes, this is a good question, and one of the things that we kind of approached, or one of the things we spent a bunch of time designing at the end of last year was, or not designing, but talking about what would be a good design, was sort of how we can rework time gates and how we can help people get those retired champions and get them geared up if they want to a little bit easier. And so I would say that this is something that we are very interested in, and please ask this question again on February 8th.
All right.
This is a great Feb 8 question.
Okay, next question, and first question of today, but it's the second question because I guess you don't like that question.
I don't not like it. We talked
kidding.
About it last
That's
stream.
true. I think we did talk about that last stream. Anyway, first question of the day from Garwar is, now that we've seen Dahani get her stack multiplier given back, are we going to see that type of fix for Zorbu and Iraq? Or does the fact that we haven't seen it yet mean that it is not coming?
I don't think it means that it's not coming. It's just it wasn't as high of a priority. I think I think we could definitely go back and do some of those things. The Dahani one was pretty easy. It was just a one number change. The Narak thing, I think it was some upgrades that were missing that we need to look at, as well as the cap on his Githzerai focus and agility ones. So yeah, Narak I know is still on the list to look at. I just have to get the full list to dev and make sure they're on that stuff. And then Zorbo, I think, is just another number tweak as far as I know. So it doesn't mean they're not coming. It just means that I haven't gotten to them yet.
Okay. Next question. This one is from Library of Akasha, asking, could you please do something about slots with limits? For example, if you use blacksmith scrolls to get a champion slot 6 to the limit of 500, so I can try equipment slots,
Yes.
then you won't be able to get the common or uncommon equipment for slot 6.
Yes, so this is something that we would like to address in time for the collections dialogue update, because it'll become a little bit more important for getting bars to 100%, that you have the ability to get those items in there. So I'm going to flag this just to double check that we don't forget about this before collections. And I think the idea here would be that we would allow Electrum chests to drop items for slots that got missed.
Right.
And this would probably just result in you getting the item in that slot, and then the next time you restart an adventure, you'd get an item level or 2 back, depending on whether it was the common or the uncommon item that you were missing.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I
will
thought sort of
flag
an
that.
ongoing sort of discussion on that we clearly obviously haven't gotten to, is to make Electrum chests or even prioritize the ones that you missed.
Yeah, I think they would prioritize as well. Once you got all of the kind of other items from them. If they were not going to give you a priority item, with a priority item being an item, a new item in a slot or an upgrade in a slot, if they were not going to give any of those, then they would focus on filling in those old slots.
Electrums. You mean those chests I can't open because of Brev?
That is correct.
Okay. Next question. This one is from the 22 Dragons. I heard that there are some little changes programmed for Karlach. Can you share anything about them?
Yes, these will be coming out in the next build, and they mainly focus around Karlach's ultimate. And the basic idea is we are changing it so it doesn't, her ultimate effect doesn't expire when the ultimate cooldown cools down. Instead, it'll always last until you defeat another boss. And you won't be able to re-trigger the ultimate until you defeat another boss as well. So, and the reason for that is because using the ultimate doubles her maximum rage stacks. So we didn't want to have a case where you use the ultimate, got up to 100 rage stacks, and then went into a boss area, and then her ultimate cooled down, and you lost 50 stacks, and then you had to build those back up. And it was especially worse because when you get gear for Karlach, one of the pieces of gear reduce her ultimate cooldown, which of course causes that to happen more often. So that was something we wanted to fix, and the dev kind of went above and beyond on that and did a couple of extra little things as well. I think we also made it so DM's ultimate can't be activated if you don't have any ultimates on cooldown, because it was a similar kind of tech. So we did that at the same time, and yeah, so that should be better overall, and that should get out in the next build on all the platforms as they get the next build.
Okay. Let's see. The next question is from our favorite half cat, half dog, half cow.
That's 3 halves.
That works in my head.
All right.
They're 1.5 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, animals, but yes.
It's like man, bear, pig. Anyway, they ask, on the formation buffs tab for the outgoing effects info, can we get the verbiage to collapse/hide only showing the stats for each buff preferably keeping that info collapsed until toggled again, even after closing/reopening the client.
Yeah, so I think the idea here is that it would remove kind of all the text that explains how an ability works and just show the number, which I think is an interesting idea. I think definitely it's kind of an advanced mode if you already know what an ability does and how to make it bigger and how to not make it smaller. Then I could definitely see the option to do that being useful, because you could just open it up and see what the number is. With that said, I think there's a lot of stuff we need to do to the formation, to the champion profile in general, and I think I've talked about that on stream, about how it'd be really nice to get a lot of other incoming effects on there, like effects from blessings and perks and global effects. That was another kind of thing that we saw another wave of with which champion was it? A recent champion. Who had an all champions effect, and we saw some people being like, hey, I can't see this all champions or this champion's effect in my incoming effects, and that's because it was an all champions, which doesn't show up in incoming effects, with the earliest example of that being Tyrell's Moonbeam not showing up in incoming effects. So I think there's some improvements we can do there just in general, but I do like this idea of one of those potentially being hiding some of the text, so you just see the values.
Yeah.
You can just do some quick math in your head.
It's funny you would say that, because the came up the other day when we were working on some new UI that we're not talking about yet. That a lot of the dialogue updates have a much sort of a fresher, cleaner style, and the character sheet itself, which is one that I know has been on the list. It's been on your list for a long time to get a rework. In fact, if I recall correctly, you designed a rework and it didn't get.
I feel like at this point I've designed a couple of reworks
for that.
for that.
I feel like we even did half of it and then didn't go out for some reason. Anyway, I know it came up again, and Alex was saying that he was thinking that all these new dialogues look a lot cleaner, and we really should go back and do the character one again. At
some point.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be really nice to do.
Right, next question. This is from Loopy79, asking, in the Timegate selection screen, can we get champions year on the name of the event in which they were introduced added to the display, as opposed to the level requirements on the top left? Or opposite the level requirements on the top left. The one on the top right.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a challenge, is getting all of the information that would be useful into the Timegate thing there, because obviously we have a very small amount of space for each champion, and so the question of what is the most important information to show there is certainly debatable. I don't know if the year and the name of the event is like the most important stuff to show there. I think there's a lot of people have been asking for various different things here and various different sorts on that. It's possible that maybe we could just improve this by sorting and filtering, being able to filter by a certain event if you were looking for a certain champion. I think this stuff will all get a lot easier after February 8th.
Gets easier after the announcement?
Well, it gets easier for us to answer.
Oh, I see. Next question. This is from Library of Akasha. Weekly request for the 1,000 times level up option.
I don't see any particular reason. I think people are hearing the stuff going on.
Yes, behind us is a countertop storage. What are they, like a?
They sell marble countertops.
Yes.
And they store them all in.
There's a giant rack
in a yard behind us
of marble and granite and other things on the wall behind us on the exterior.
On the outside of that wall.
Yeah, and they've got this giant rack system for moving it around.
Crazy crane.
Sometimes the whole room here shakes when they move stuff.
I think they need to oil it. I think they need to oil that crane.
Ever so slight paranoia that one day it's just going to come right through the wall. Those things are just.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Weekly request for times 1,000 level up option. Do you think of any reason we wouldn't necessarily provide this? Maybe as an advanced option that you can toggle on.
I mean, maybe if you're just trying to be a jerk, you just click more times.
We do have Codename obviously buys shares in
mice,
Logitech
yep,
and Microsoft for the mice. So the more
Razer,
mice that
don't
get
forget Razer.
Razer,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So the more mice that you guys break while playing the game, the more money we make. So yeah, no, I can't think of any particular reason not to do this. So yeah.
And don't break your mouse. Or mice.
Yes, we don't. That was a joke, by the way. I'm hoping that's clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are we at?
We're right there.
Next question. This is from Meow Arf Moo. Will y'all please make the formation tabs or somewhere show stack counts? Also without having to actually swap the character onto the map. For characters such as Briv's Steelbones and Sprint stacks and Telora's Rush stacks.
Yeah, this is a good question. This is another kind of thing that I think we could improve with the champion profile updates. I really like part of the updates to that to be able to view the champion profile for a champion that is not necessarily in the seat at the time, because that is something that we get asked about all the time, and
Right,
it'd be
I
nice
assume
to
if they're not in the
improve that.
seat, or even if their abilities wouldn't be active and you wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, well, we'd have to find some way around that, because I think the character specific stuff, I think those stacks are just stored in the stats somewhere. So we would likely have those on the client. The client just wouldn't know how to use them.
No, they'd have to be flagged specifically as something that should be shown when the character doesn't have any levels.
Yeah, but I think that's something we can do down the road. But it's just a question of where that gets slotted in.
Okay. Next question. This is from the Lurking Writer. We had recently had additional Zraxis blessings added to the game, but many people were not aware of this.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, well, there we go. This question is for you. Can this sort of content update be added to the change logs, blog posts, in-game news updates, please?
Yes, that should have been in the change log at the very least. I'm surprised that got missed, but I will highlight that in yellow, and I will mention that. I will give Peter a hard time tomorrow. He's the one who compiles the change logs. Dang it, it's his job.
Okie dokie. Next question. This is from Library of Akasha, and they would like to know, why are you alternating between Steam and Epic for seasonal gifts? It's a
good question. So this is the login bonuses that we do on some platforms. Generally, just Steam and Epic are the big two that we do those on, because those are the two platforms where the platforms will do things for us. But the general idea is those login bonuses generally come with some promotion on the platform, and so we get a certain amount of promotion on the platform per year, and we try to spread that out across the platforms, across time as well. So we don't just have one big boost of installs throughout the year, but we have a couple. And so what tends to happen is Steam gets a promo, and then Epic gets a promo, and then Steam gets a promo, and back and forth. So.
And it tends to be tied on to sort of how we can work with the platforms to make them happen. It's not something that we're just choosing to do as a, it's not like, oh, we're going to do this in game. It's something that we work out with the platforms as a special as a special promotion with that platform, which is why we don't do them at the same time. Well, sometimes we have done them at the same time.
Did we do them one?
But the timing is more tied to what we can organize with them, not what's something that's sort of just like a decision that we're making.
Yeah, we have to work around when there are other things going on, other companies, other games having promotions on those platforms, and find a slot that works for them and works for us. And that's when we get those promotions.
Okay. Next question. Once again, this one is from Meow Arf Moo. Can we get a button to skip or close the animations when opening chests? When opening, skip the flip all button and just show that to begin with. And then, in addition to the show all loot button, perhaps also have the button to close there too, allowing us to skip past that part if we choose. Really, they want to skip the entire process altogether is kind of what this one sounds like.
Yeah, I feel like in one of our last half dozen streams last year, we kind of talked about this and what we could do to speed up that process for people who want that process to be a little
And
bit
it's an
more
odd
sped
one
up.
because this is only in the case where you're not opening multiple chests at a time, or
This is when you're opening multiple chests. I think
Skip
they just
that
want to
show all
be able
loot.
to
Oh,
open
right,
1,000 chests and skip the
skip
six
the whole
six kind of
process, yeah.
highlighted ones. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I also kind of wonder, like, sort of how much
They just want. I think
how
they just
mu-
want
how much time is getting spent on this.
Yeah.
Like, how many chests are you opening?
a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my read of this is they just want to skip that initial 6 with the flip all and the show all loot buttons, and just go straight to the mass. Here's all the loot you got with the open 1,000 more button available there. So
Yeah, I mean, without remembering what we discussed, if we discuss it, prior to the end of the year, it does seem like something that we could do. I'm just not sure sort of what the priority level on that would be.
and where we would put that option.
Yeah, like super speed chest opening, minimal chest.
It'd almost be like on the, like maybe a tick box on the mass open that you can check, and that kind of does a per client load, saves that, and so you can kind of when you click on the mass open button, you get like the slider for 1,000 chests, and then you can tick a little box that says skip, featured items or whatever, and that just goes straight to the mass open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need some thought, and like I said, I'm not entirely sure sort of what the impact of that is in terms of how many people are in a boat where they're opening thousands and thousands of chests at a time. But
certainly a lot of people in in chat, or several people in chat, are in that situation where they're opening thousands of chests. Yeah.
Did the earth stop moving? Yes, it did. The sounds behind us did stop.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. This is from Loopy79. Can you shed any light on the choice to place Karlach in slot 4? We're going to have Kent, Crux, and Karlach, all DPS support champs, all with the buff this column mechanics, all in the same slot. They even all start with the same letter K. It seems like a very odd choice to put them in slot 4.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak specifically
What are you doing, Justin?
To why Karlach went in slot 4. There's a big challenge with the absolute adversaries, the champions from Baldur's Gate 3, alongside some of the some of the other champions that appear in Baldur's Gate 3 that were already in the game, spoiler alert, mute now if you haven't played through all Baldur's Gate 3, like Minx, Jaheira, Viconia, etc. These are champions that we don't want to necessarily overlap in slots, and so we are forced to kind of spread our champions out. Putting I think we put Karlach in seat 4 because we had plans for some of the other seats that still don't have one of those Baldur's Gate 3 or Baldur's Gate 3 adjacent champions in them. And so that just results in, not necessarily the most optimal seat, but still not a bad seat. It's always a challenge to do seat selection. I think this is something we've talked about on the show before, but figuring out what seat champions are going to be in is very complicated, and oftentimes there's no perfect seat where they tick all of the boxes. Oftentimes we just have to make do with ticking 80% of the boxes or something like that. So this is probably a case where seat 4 ticked 80% of the boxes, but did not tick, obviously the don't have too many champions who start with K, or don't have too many DPS support champions with the same buff, their same column mechanic restrictions on them. So that's likely why Karlach ended up in slot 4, or in seat 4, and we'll continue to try and find the best seats for champions, but it continues to be a challenge, especially in large affiliations like the Absolute Adversaries.
Okay.
It looks here like the giveaway is ready to go. I'm just going to move that up so it's before the next question. And you know what the giveaway means, right? Have you heard of our giveaway?
No, we do a giveaway?
You've never heard of our
No,
giveaway
no.
as you Google certain types of groups of things. So
Give me a second.
So it is time for our stream famous, our world famous. It's time for our famous 42 chess giveaway. The way this works, if you haven't been in stream before, is very, very shortly, either CNE Games or one of our bots will, I can't remember which, will say a keyword. And all you have to do is copy that keyword, paste it back into chat, and you will be entered for a chance to win 42 gold chests of your choice. It can be any type of chest in the game. Wait, it can be any type of chest in the game except for Glory of Bahamut chests, and it has to be a type of chest that exists in the game, but it could be, for example, Season 7 chests. It could be Season 1 chests if you really like the Heroes of Erois. It could be Modron component chests if you really like playing with the Modron Pipes games. It can be any type of chest that exists in the game.
Well, does that mean it can be a UV curable chest? Can I get a contact cement chest? Can I get a structural adhesive chest? How about an epoxy chest? An emulsion adhesive chest? How about a hot melt chest?
All right, so this is like the connections game in the New York Times. You have to figure out what is the category, or it's like this is more like Only Connect, the British show. What's that category, folks? What did Dave search for? Types of blank. Building materials. Dave wants to work with marble. It does sound. Adhesive. There we go. Congratulations. Right. I think that
Adhesive
was
chests.
Seeker 30K. You win nothing, but you did guess it correctly.
Yeah. Sense of accomplishment.
You win
it's
a
worth
massive,
more than you know.
massive sense of accomplishment.
Okay.
Anyway, good luck to everyone on that giveaway.
Where were we? I had a
And
doctor
now
with
back
questions in
to
it.
our questions.
All right, next question. Ready to go? Dev 109. What's Dev?
That's the code word.
Oh, because it's episode 109. I was like, what's the reference? So we don't remember. Usually it's something silly we said. It's the mod's chance to poke fun at us.
Maybe they were told to be less creative after one of them.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
no. Right, next question. This one is from Hulsmanum. Hulsmanum. Yeah, we're going with that. Can we just eliminate season favor? It doesn't do anything, and then when it forcibly converts at a very poor rate, it just messes up people's Thalora and Modron Briv's stacking.
Yeah, so I think for season favor, I've heard this request before, and I think we talked about it in the last episode about someone who wanted to kind of turn it off or have the ability to turn it off for the Thalora or Modron or Briv stacking stuff where you want to get very precise numbers in order to get things to work very, very precisely.
Go this high and no higher.
I think it's a real challenge because I think for every person who needs their favor to be at an exact certain amount in order to have very specific farming things, there's probably several hundred players who appreciate just the small boost to their other favors because they're still working towards getting all their blessings or getting certain legendary levels or whatnot. So it's a tough thing to just say, hey, we're going to remove it because there's a small percentage of the formation or the population who it messes up. I'd prefer to maybe find different solutions for that.
I know. You'll be able we should make it so you can donate the favor to get super favor. No, it's a bad idea.
Anyway, I see the request in here, and I appreciate that.
I think you'll be
but
able to
it's
convert favor into
probably
some other
not.
global favor that gives you another level of favor.
No,
I feel like
that
that
sounds
seems
like an idle game, and we wouldn't want to do that.
What am I doing? Okay. I think we're moving on. Who won?
X Undone X. Congratulations.
Undone.
Congratulations on your new glue chests.
Adhesives. Go for the hot melt chests. They're a lot of fun. All right. Next question. This one is from Dice42. Any news on Narak alt fix? Even just a statement that it'll be addressed in the February update. Oh, there we go, Justin. You know what? They're adding things to the February update.
It is probably not going to get mentioned. This is not one of the things that you asked me about on February 8th because hopefully we will get something in place before then. But I will highlight it so that I remember to get my notes together to bug Peter about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Next question here is blue. What is this strange color?
Oh, I know.
This question is from Garwar, who asks, can you unhook the new Complete the Adventure flashing light from Speed Potions, please? Is there a flashing light when you can complete the adventure?
Yeah, they added the button to flash green.
And it flashes at game speed, not
I
real
assume
time?
that must be the case.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
Yes, we can certainly do that.
That seems
Tag
like a
it.
very easy highlight.
A very easy fix.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Next question
I
is.
could answer this one here.
You don't want
No, we can do that one after, but we can just
yeah.
do this one first. It's in order.
to. This one is from Lydiath. When Veronica selects her puppet, is Karlak in that pool when doing Zariel patrons, since she doesn't qualify stat-wise? I was not able to select her after an hour of fishing.
This is a good question. I am not sure, honestly, whether passives that provide access for champions are taken into account with Voronika. I know Voronika picks her puppets on adventure start, so it's based off of the champions that are available when the adventure starts. But I'm not sure if that is before or after passives are looked at. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. My guess would be if you fished for an hour and you didn't see her there, then probably not. But that would also mean that probably like champions like DM also wouldn't show up for Voronika if there was like some weird edge case where you were in a adventure where DM's secret stats would actually disqualify him, and his passive would allow him in. So I guess, yeah, that would be a much more rare case. But yeah, so I would guess that passives are probably not taken into account here, and I can flag this for Peter, but I'm going to guess that this is going to go pretty far down on the priority list. But yeah, we can look at that.
Okay. Now I've got a very serious question here.
Don't say who it's from.
It's from the Bigs Hit.
The Bigs Hit.
The
yes.
Bigs Hit. Definitely how you pronounce that. And the question is, what is your favorite food?
Man, that's a good question.
It's harder than it looks.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? You know, I've been asked that in the past, and I don't know that I have like a favorite per se. And it's not just like, I know, ice cream, because I know that's not really food, if you want to consider it by that category.
Whoa, is ice cream not food?
No, I don't think so.
Whoa.
I think that would be dessert.
Dessert is still food, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, a good steak, or a nice steak.
Yeah.
Like that's a
good steak.
Or some Mexican, like some tacos or a burrito, or like some pizza, like an Italian pizza or pasta.
I like a good curry.
Curry's good too. Yeah.
My family uses some of the meal prep boxes, and oftentimes when we get the curry ones, they're quite value. Delicious. Hey man, yes. You have 2 kids, and then you talk to me about that. They're great value.
But is that your favorite?
It's some of my favorite, like the meal prep things. I think when I go out, there's an Italian restaurant here in town, and they do a what's it called?
Pasta?
They do it like they do a pasta, but they do like a pulled pork stuffed like cannelloni with like some apple compote on top and some onions and stuff in there. Oh my God, it's so rich.
Once the stream over,
so rich and delicious. Anyway, that's a very good. I like that. That's what I get every time I go there.
Okay.
So thank you for that question, the Bigs Hit.
Yes,
I assume that's a Star Wars reference to like Biggs from Star Wars.
It's not spelt that way, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, you're missing a G. You misspelled his name. That's too bad.
Okay, next question. This is from the 22 Dragons. We have now a lot of formations that can easily reach Area 2000, but we have almost no content aside from some quests that require that power. Do you intend to introduce more hard content? And no, just making harder getting favor isn't Wait, what are they trying to say? And no, just making it harder to get favor isn't particularly harder. I mean mobs with more life and more damage or other things that require stronger champions.
Yes, so this is a focus for us in 2024.
So question, make the game harder.
Yes, this is something we want to do in 2024. make some more challenging content in there, and there will be some stuff to talk about come February 8th on this. And I look forward to talking about that stuff then. But I do think that increasing the level cap and having some content up there is possible.
Just make a note, add this to the February 8th update.
Yeah.
It seemed like we were on top of it.
It's already part of it. I swear.
Okay.
We're just taking all the good stuff and being like, okay, we've got 28 days, folks. Let's put some stuff together.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy.
Yeah.
Next question. This is from Max I. Kubert. Still no news from the Apothecary? Any idea on the ETA?
The Apothecary is designed. We've talked about it recently. I talked about it with Pete yesterday because we had some questions a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was last week, about potions of specialization and what we want to do with those moving forward. And so we were talking about how we can integrate those into the Apothecary. But right now, everyone's pretty heads down on some other stuff, so I don't have an update on when that might come out. Yeah, I mean, I would like to be able to do that this year. I think there's benefit there for players, and I think there's also benefit there for just the health of the game to have something to do with those potions.
And no, you can't use your speed potions to get to February 8 faster. That's not how it works.
Okay, the next question is from OG17, and they say, it's not really the first part is a statement, and then there's a question. There's been pretty blatant performance issues since the season started, or maybe from a seasoned character. Is this on your radar?
Yeah, so there was an issue.
Boop. I'm being radar.
Is it getting closer?
Boop. I don't know.
Shoot, I'm trying to remember what the ability was now. Peter was working on this last week.
I know we were looking at Dahani, but I can't remember.
There was a significant issue with the killing of, like, the AoE killing monsters. Something had to do with the propagation of the on-killed event that was then firing over and over based on Dahani, and it was also on, like, monsters. I think there was a particular adventure where they were respawning immediately. I'm trying to remember the details. I know Peter was looking into it, and I'm confident that he had a fix that he was trying to test. I don't know what the status on that was, but I know it was on his radar. It was something that he was looking into specifically and spending more than a little bit of time on. So I thought he did have a fix that he was going to try. I have to check with him and see what the status of that is, but definitely something that we were aware of. Okay. We got a big question here for you now. Whole paragraph, Justin.
Oh my goodness. You know what the answer, I mean, you can ask this. Spoiler alert, the answer to this is going to be February 8th. But,
okay, cool. Let's have the question then. This is from Geranathus.
Welcome to our A and Q.
Yeah, we'll switch it up, try the new format. Part 1, new players are constantly being advised to get staple champions like Anantis. Why can't I say that? Help me out here, Justin. Antius.
Antius, yeah.
Why am I saying that wrong? Suddenly I couldn't pronounce the name.
Antius.
And Birdsong because of their superior support abilities. However, new players are told, too bad, you'll never fully use Birdsong. She's retired and it will take you too much effort to fully equip her. In essence, this alienates new players from the game when they hear, this is how to win, too bad that you are new. This constant good advice is rubbing some the wrong way. When also told, pay real money if you want to be on par and get what established players got for free. What are CNE's priorities with respect to addressing gearing up highly desirable retired champions? Is there a possibility to release new champions with equivalent support power in the same slots so that existing gearing up mechanics will help remedy the issue?
Yes, so this is... The answer to this is we will have more to talk about on this in February. This has been a big, this whole thing has been, of gearing up older champions, has been a really major thing on our design side. For the last 3 or 4 months, we've been really focused on it. It started out with redesigning time gates and what that could look like, and it has expanded into something that I'm very excited to talk about come February 8th. hopefully.
Okay. What happens on February 9th? The apocalypse? No. That happens earlier. Next question. This one is from Dice42. Was the talk about a jump level limit feat idle musing, a hint, or something that's incoming, or just trolling?
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, Justin, why would you troll them with that?
Hey, you were the one who did that. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's idle musing. I think oftentimes Dave and I sort of muse on stream when we get some questions. Sometimes those musings turn into actual content. Sometimes they are just us kind of exploring an idea that may not work for one reason or another. I think in terms of the jump eye level limiting feat, I think that was sort of half idle musing and half sort of what kind of solutions could we find to this. It's not something that we're working on or that is in active development, and I wouldn't say it's trolling because it is something we do want to find a solution for, a permanent solution for. So yeah. I think I would use this opportunity to also just give a little disclaimer that we sometimes give on the show that we really should just work into the intro. But
Disclaimer.
But everything we say on this show is, not guaranteed to be something that's going to happen in the game. If we say, hey, we'd like to do X, we may like to do X, but we may not end up having time to do X. We may not end up having the resources, or it might not make sense for one reason or another. And so, please do take things we say here with a certain grain of salt, because we are certainly trying to do everything we can to make the game the best game we can, and sometimes that involves things changing after we kind of talk about them.
Yeah, for example, we're going to change the name Antreus to John because I'm told that's how it's pronounced according to the chat.
I knew there was a letter missing. I'm just like, it looks right-ish, but not quite right.
Okay.
Oy, oy, oy.
Next question. This is from Canelian asking, so far, all of the Baldur's Gate 3 champions' stats have followed their in-game character sheets, but this doesn't seem to be the case for Karlach. Is there a reason for this?
Yes, there is a reason for this. I followed this thread in our internal chats yesterday, and the reason for this is when we were looking at their stats, I think we were using potentially a graphic from pre-release or something like that, from early access, and their stats must have gotten changed at some point, so the graphic we were using for that had the stats on it was not correct. Now, we've gone back and looked at the previous stats, and we've gone forward and looked at the stats for additional BG3 champions that may or may not be coming to the game. Yeah, we are going to be fixing Karlach's stats because I do not believe they impact any of her patron eligibility or other feats. I don't think she has any stat feats. So we will be updating those in the next push.
Okay. We're almost running out of questions.
Well, it's a good thing we're
running
almost
out of time. Next question. This is from the Lurking Writer. It's kind of potentially a funnish question. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. David and Justin, if each of you could do something that only the other is responsible for in designing and developing idle champions, what would it be and why?
Something that you are responsible for.
What if each of you could do something that only the other
you are
is responsible for?
So we do have a
That's
lot
a really
of overlap.
limited region where it's the only.
What are some things that only you do that I don't do?
Server management stuff. There's a bunch of server management stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, from time to time, I guess like setting up new servers.
Yeah.
But we both do part of that, right? Like
That's
you do
true.
kind of the hardware, and I do a lot of the software, or not
you do the config. I do the hardware and software setup. You don't do the hardware and software setup. You can
That's
do
true.
that.
I don't want to do that.
No, I know.
That sounds horrible.
But it's sort of the question there. And then on the other side, the only thing that Justin does that I've never done is like a straight up champion design.
Design a champion from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
You never know. Best champion yet.
Yeah. Best from what perspective?
The player's perspective would have all the
OP.
power.
Yeah. This champion has every single other ability we've ever made in the game at the same time. You put them in your formation, and you immediately have E to the 9999 damage.
Yeah. Starts with random legendary that every time you log the game changes where the red. It's perfect. Plus, you can use that champion in every formation at once. They've got like multiple personalities. Or instances, not really personality. It'd be like it's a transphasic champion. Can be used in every party at once.
There you go.
This is a really good idea.
Okay,
We should write this down.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Cool.
Cool.
Next question. You want to answer any of these before you?
I'm just looking through them.
Doo-doo-doo. Well, while you're highlighting those, I can answer this one from Cassius335, which is, are you now regretting the choice of the weekly code, which of course was no audio issue? You know, having the audio coming in stereo and having only one of us in each voice for the first, or each channel for the first, 2 minutes? As far as audio issues go, I think I can live with that. I'm not necessarily regretting that code choice.
Well, the code is no audio issue. And the specific issue we were talking about is the volume of us.
Yes.
So we didn't have that audio issue. We just had a different audio issue.
Yes. And hopefully everything is actually sounding good.
I hope so. I haven't seen any other complaints about it.
Yeah, I actually did end up jury rigging a setup today that I think is working, at least I hope it's working, quite well. And then we have a full new mixer coming in next week, which hopefully should alleviate that problem longer term. So yeah, knock on wood for that.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. This is from Emote. Could we get a fairy champion? Maybe that pixie that keeps showing up with random enemies as mounts.
I really like that pixie that keeps showing up with random enemies as mounts. And I sort of started doing way back in the day, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I guess at this point. I was doing some of the
9 years. Oh, okay.
I was doing the the monster design for adventures, and I don't do that anymore. But it's nice to see in newer adventures that pixie keeps on showing up, riding more and more ridiculous things. So I mean, I think it started out riding a wolf or a bear or something like that, and now I think it's riding like a mind flayer or something. I don't know. It's going pretty crazy.
Hoping for a pixie riding a pixie.
Now that would be interesting.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that would be a fun champion to do, honestly, especially if we kept that riding random monsters effect in, and so something it could do would be like to hop out and start riding a monster and causing that monster to like take more damage or start attacking other enemies or something like that. That'd be a fun little mechanic.
All right.
But no guarantees on that. See prior disclaimer.
Yeah. Pixie riding a pixie riding a pixie. It's pixies all the way up.
Yeah. Maybe every time you use the ultimate, another pixie appears.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. Next question. This is from Dice42. Any update on Jiang Sao's background stacking?
Yeah, so I talked to Peter about this one. I thought it was actually on the list from last week's.
3 6s in a trench coat.
It might have been. But yeah, the basic idea was we will take a look at that. I think when we have time, it got transferred to the list. I know this is one of those cases where Peter was saying when he tries it, it works, and when he tries to get someone to give him more details on how it doesn't work for them, they respond with it just doesn't work. And so I guess one of the hardest things to fix is an issue that you can't replicate. And I think at this point, this is an issue that internally, at least, Peter hasn't been able to replicate, which makes it very challenging to fix. So I think it's on the list to look more closely at. But the easiest issues to fix are the ones that just immediately replicate themselves for us. And down from there, the harder ones just take more and more time to do because we have to first figure out how to do it before we can figure out why it happens.
Just mail Peter's PC around everyone. I don't know about that. You mail your PC into Peter and he'll take a look. All right, next question. This one is from Dire Audience, and they ask, how are you?
I feel fine. Was that how do you feel?
That's what it is.
How do you
Got it
feel?
wrong.
How do you feel?
Ruined my Star
question
Trek
is
2 reference.
illogical.
Wait, 3 reference.
4, Dave.
Four,
4.
oh.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Hand in your
Just
credentials,
Go home
sir.
right now.
Apparently it started snowing outside. I saw someone say that,
Oh, sweet.
which means I'm going home right after this.
I mean, 3 o'clock. They said it would start at 3 o'clock.
There you go.
Take that, Google.
Yeah,
You got it
Google was
wrong.
Canadian Weather Service was right. Everyone on the stream is like, what are these two talking about? Like, they're in Canada. Of course it's snowing. It's like, no, we're in Victoria. It never snows here.
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
I think we might be out of time.
I think we are out of time. We can move this last question to next week's episode because although we are out of time, if we did not get to your question, do not fret. It says fret here.
Yeah.
You will
Like a
have another
guitar.
opportunity. Yeah. We will be live again at the same time next week. I don't know why I do these things.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, though, we'd like to thank our tireless mods. This
Do
week
we know
it
they're
was.
tireless?
Sometimes they seem pretty tired.
Yeah.
So maybe they're not. Anyway, it was Sean and Gabe this week. So thanks to both of you for moderating the chat and copying the questions into our questions doc.
And of course, thanks to all of you for hanging out, watching the stream, playing the game, and asking such great questions, because without you, no one here would get to do what we do.
And we like what we do.
All right. That's it. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Bye.
Where's the button?
I don't know. Dave, push the button.
There it is.
Now I can unplug this.
Sure.
Now they can't hear us.
Perfect. So, as I was saying before, I steal board games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost got caught a few times. What can I say? I'm a real risk taker.